Hey, what's up everyone? Coach Danny here. Today we're going to show you guys how to use this, the uppercut bag. All right, so first, before we begin to show you a couple of combinations you can use on the uppercut bag, we also have to learn how to properly throw an uppercut. So I'm going to leave a link in the description section below on how to properly do uppercuts, all right? Solo, just first, but very quickly is, a lot of times when people look at this bag, they wonder why we want to have an uppercut bag. Well, it's plain and simple. On a regular bag, you're going to have a vertical position and it's hard to land the uppercuts. And the uppercuts sometimes are aimed to land right underneath your opponent's chin, especially if I'm facing you guys like this. So it's going to land underneath or right in the middle of your chest right here. So a lot of times when people are crouching downwards, we're going to catch them inside between the gloves right here on the chest. Okay, so these are good targets for the uppercuts. Now we can create angles. Now this bag here is one that I've hanged apart from the wall, but sometimes we can also hang it against a wall, depends. I like this one here because now it kind of like moves a little bit more, so when you use some distance and footwork. The uppercut bag is good as a solo training because you can use all of your punches, okay? So let me explain here. First, when we throw the uppercut, I mentioned to throw it properly, so we always want to aim underneath. We want to imagine this is the opponent's chin, he's ducking forward, and I'm just going to land right underneath here. Now what I don't want to do is throw the uppercut as such, all right? So a lot of times people throw with their palm up like this, and what happens now is, number one, there's no effectiveness in this punch, but number two is I might sprain my wrist or even hyperextend my elbow, and if I throw it hard enough, I'm going to injure myself, okay? So I always want to aim with the knuckles like this. So I want to turn my hand, my palm faces me, and it goes up, right? So I imagine this is the opponent's face, mine catching under the chin here. Now when you throw an uppercut, you're not going to be like a robot and just be like this, right? This would be the wrong way of throwing a proper uppercut. So what I want to do is watch my head. I'm going to lean forward and pop that uppercut up, okay? So I want to create that angle. It's almost like I'm doing a feint, and now I grab the inside angle and throw that uppercut. Now, on the rear hand, it's going to be the same thing, but I got to make sure that I'm inside the pocket. So of course, if I'm far from my bag, at the jabbing range, now my uppercut might not land. So a lot of times I want to practice the inside fighting, so I'm on the inside. So what we refer to in boxing as fighting in the pocket. So I'm inside here, right? And this is going to be my short uppercut right here. So we can practice the left and right sides when we use this bag, and it's perfect because the side of the bag where you're going to throw the uppercuts is always going to be in a proper angle to land that punch, okay? As opposed to a regular standing bag, sometimes the angle of your punch on the uppercuts is not going to be just as effective. So this bag is an old school bag, and actually it's a really old bag. It's one of my first punching bags that I actually purchased when I started getting involved in boxing. So you can see there's a lot of wear and tear on it, but I kept it because number one, it reminds me of when I started, but number two, it's still very usable, right? So I have one in my gym, and sometimes when I give private classes to students, I'll use this tool to really improve them fighting inside, and also in Muay Thai we use the elbows and whatnot on them. But now back to the punching. So when you work this bag, you always want to make sure that you're stepping it in, throwing that short uppercut, and then other side. And then once you have this down, those nice short uppercuts, now you can start the uppercuts from long range as well, but now you have to make sure that you turn your body, right? So imagine that it's almost like the same distance as the jab, but this time I'm going to go from a further distance, right? So lead uppercut here, and I release my jab to throw that right uppercut. Now, one more thing that I want to talk about is we want to practice range. Earlier I mentioned that sometimes we hang this bag against a wall, and that's good for training power and static punching. But we want to be able to move in and out of range as well. So this bag, the way it's hung here, is perfect because now every time I punch it, it's going to move in and out. So it makes me use my footwork, my range, and my distance, which is going to force me to sway in and sway back out. So that being said, I can use this as using my longer weapons, such as the jab. And now I know that the uppercut's going to fail short. So as I throw the jab, now I can start to use this jab and use a longer distance punching. And now as I'm throwing that jab, that's my distance or my range finder. I'm going to camouflage the uppercut right behind that jab. All right, so when you practice this, you start slow, and then you just kind of like tap the bag because you know that's your range, and then you walk it in to throw that right uppercut, okay? Now you don't want to do things blindly, because eventually if you only practice the same techniques over and over, you develop that sense of instincts where that's all you're going to do when you start to spar for real. So now you want to start to mix up your combinations. So one good combination that I like to do is just the double jab instead. So now people know that after the jab, you might throw the right straight, you might throw the right hook, you might throw the overhand, or like we just talked about, walk in with the uppercut. So they know this. But the double jab, I made a video on that, by the way, very good one, is one that's going to set up that right uppercut that's been very successful for me in my younger days. So now what we do is I pop it out twice, and now that hides that right uppercut, right? So again, jab and jab, boom. So it's just two feints. Technically, you're just touching on a double jab. I don't care if it doesn't hurt you. I just want you to do one of three things. Number one, put your hands up, parry my jab, or even move your head away. When you do this and you sway back in, that's when you walk into that right uppercut, okay? So you can just play tip-tap, do reps, let's say 1 and 2, and then you walk it in with that nice right uppercut to the chin. Another combination, if you want to work your lead uppercut now, would be right behind the 1-2. So right here, right? You hide it. So longer range punches right to here, and then short range punches walked right behind it, okay? So a lot of times you'll do drills, so sometimes I'll practice double jab into the right uppercut, so I'll go pum, pum, pum. And other times I'll just add into it pum, pum, pum right here. And then you can combine this stuff. See? 1, 2, 3. And 1, 2. And then jab, jab, up, pum, pum, pum. See? You combine things. So one combination could be as simple as this. As you throw your punches, pop, 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 pop. Okay, one more time. Jab, jab, up, 1, 2, up. And then you start to move with your bag. As it swings back to you, you have to swing away from it as well. One more very useful tool for the uppercut bag is the hook. Contrary to popular belief, a lot of people think the uppercut bag is only to practice uppercuts. It's a beautiful tool. I use the sides of it for the hooks. So watch this, guys. As I throw the left hook, I'm going to step to the side here to get this side of the bag. So let me turn the bag a little bit for the camera. So I'm going to hit the hook right here. Just like a regular bag, see? So right here on the side. And now, when you're going to hit it, because it swings like this, you're going to see the opposite extremity of the bag coming back at you. So what's the common mistake when people throw left hooks? Watch here. Right? They do this. They drop the opposite hand. So this helps you. This is a good tool. Once again, I use when I give private classes to some students. I'll have them throw the hook here. What happens now is when they throw it here, this side of the bag's coming back at them. So that'll make them keep their hand up to imagine someone's throwing that left hook to them as well, so they can practice their parrying, right? So I get to here, boom, as it turns, see? That glove has to be there to protect your chin, okay? One more time. The bag is here. So I push, boom, and then the glove has to be here before I step back out. Because a lot of times people think they're fast enough, but they're inside the range to hit, but they're also in the same distance to get hit. So we have to practice parrying, blocking, or evading before we step back out. Not everyone's super fast to step in, step out quickly, because hands are much faster than feet. All right, so if you're fast with your feet to move in and out from the range, that's great. But many times, you're not be quick enough because you're attacking now. If I know I'm anticipating an attack, I'm going to move out of the way. Of course, if I have fast feet, I'm going to be able to do that. But a lot of times, I'm not thinking of moving out because I'm actually on the offense, attacking something. So that fraction of a second is too late when I get caught. So a lot of times, this is a good drill. As you see the bag turning to one side, as it swivels to one side or the other, you'll be able to block that imaginary hook coming back. And of course, you can practice that on the opposite side. When you throw the hook on this side, if I throw the right hook here, it pushes, and I have to cover with the opposite hand. Now you start combining things where we throw the left uppercuts here, go here, here, straight punching, working the uppercuts, but you'll forcefully practice your defense as well. Why? Because watch how I'm going to throw my jab not only in the center of the bag, but sometimes I'll pop it to the side here to force the bag coming back at me. So this is a great tool. There's a lot of new tools on the market today where boxing bars and things to force you to do bob and weaves and all that, and they're very expensive tools. And we used to use this the same way using this old school bag, because the way I hung this bag, I force it to turn in every direction. So not only is this a very versatile tool for me to train my offense, it also helps me train my defense as well. All right, so this is a great tool to practice all of your boxing punches, and we can also do elbows as well for Muay Thai, but I'm just talking about basic punches now. So the uppercut bag, a lot of students come to the gym and they don't know how to use this. They just throw uppercuts like this, thinking it's just a fun tool, and then they get injured on their elbow because they didn't use it properly. The goal is not to aim the uppercut completely underneath the bag, right? The goal is to hit the uppercut right here, not underneath, right in front of it, right here. Because that's where my chin is going to be, right here. That's what we call right on the button, right? So when I throw the uppercuts, I'm going to aim almost in front of the bag. Short uppercut, see that? Short. But I use the shoulder to pop it in. There's not a big range of motion. Contrary to bringing the hand down and predicting, showing my opponent what I'm going to do to him, right? So when I walk inside here, my hands are busy pushing your shoulders. So if I control your shoulders, I'm also controlling the inside fighting, but that's another video, guys. So for now, short, move out, block to here or here, and work your hooks with the uppercuts and keep training that bag. So just a quick tutorial, guys, on how to use the uppercut bag, one of my favorite punching bags in my gym. All right, guys, so hope you enjoyed this video. Leave us a like. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more bag workout videos and tutorials. Until next time, see you in the next video. Take care.